Hi everyone, delonewolf here and welcome to EVE Talk, your weekly look at the market in EVE Online. I think there's already some good news I can announce for the role-playing fans among us, because yesterday we had a new live event. As Concord announced a press conference on an autopsy of a drifter body. 4 drifter battleships showed up. They activated some weird device that caused havoc across multiple systems. But those drifters were then quickly dispatched by the capsuleers that were present. So that's the in-game part of the event. If you wanted to join that, I think the best way would have been to keep a closer eye on the Twitter account. So there is like a live events, a storyline related Twitter account that CCP uses, and I think they announced beforehand that this press conference would have been given. And so that was your chance to actually get over there to join the event. I missed it by like 20 minutes or so. I only noticed when the new scope video went out, which was pretty damn cool in my opinion. But other things have been moving as well. So let's head over to the market here and we'll write down 120 for plex, because that has been moving pretty steadily in the last 2 weeks or so, going up from around 800 million where we were at the beginning of the month up to 845 million on the chart. Let's have a quick look here. 847 for the sellers, 840 for the buyers. So that's pretty obviously a decent move up, and my theory on this is that it's the new skin system that's having an impact here. The reason for that is, in my opinion, it looks pretty damn good. In the dev blog we also saw that a lot of new skins are going to come out, and so I think there will be a bit more demand to convert that to Aurum in order to buy those skin licenses that we'll have next week. So I think that's what's happening here. For the multiple pilot training certificate, we can see that that one is following suit, about 830 on the chart, but 845 for the sellers, so that's pretty much in line with plex by now. And then let's have a quick look at the pilot's body rescope certificate. Ooh, that one is actually pretty weird. It's back down to 170 where it was a month ago. So when it comes to like the plex market, this is pretty much the one outlying data point here. That's that the body rescope certificate new little spike, which we're seeing now in both of the other ones, but it's back down to where the certificate was a month ago. So that's actually kind of weird. If plex and the pilot training certificate are tightly linked to this, we could actually see this be a very short-lived spike as well. If not, we should see the pilot body certificate start to go back up alongside the other two. The only good news I would say in this here is that at the tail end we can see that the increase in price for plex has stopped pretty much at around the 845 to 850 million mark, and so maybe the damage will be limited, but that's too early to tell, to be honest, because the 20-day moving average is really starting to ascend as well. The gap here is still pretty big, and the actual release of the new skin system could have a pretty big impact here once again. So be careful when it comes to plex. I'm really happy that I bought 4 of them at 800 million already. Next up, let's take a look at the minerals, and that's 350. So let's start here with titanium. I think for the mineral market, with the release of the dev blog last week, about all the changes with all the details, it's just going to continue where it was last week. So titanium is still going down. You can see the gap here between the 5-day moving average and 20-day moving average, but the trend is pretty obviously down towards 5.3 ISK. We're now at 526 for the buyers, 540 pretty much for the sellers. So that's not very good news for the Isaac miners. Let's have a quick look here at the pyrite chart. That one is slowing down, but it will still need some time to reach its bottom. Probably 1230 or 1225 or something like that is a possibility. Current sellers 1232, buyers 1230. So maybe we can stop here for pyrite. Let's see what Mexalon is doing. And that one is still going down, so still some momentum in the downward spiral for Mexalon here, heading towards 51. The buyers, yeah, 48, 43, so there's still some work there, and then the sellers 51.48. You can also see that there's a decent amount of 26 million here, 104 million here. Pretty big sell orders. The new buy orders that are competing up are much smaller than that, so I think Mexalon still has a way down to go. And here is Isogen. That's more in line with Pyrite, so it's hesitating a little bit at the 120 mark. And well, not that many big buy orders to be seen here, just one of them, 23 million at 114.73, trying to keep the price from really tumbling down too far, but quite a bit of supply coming in here as well, just below 120. So I fear that all of them have some momentum to go down even further, and that the release of the patch is only going to accentuate this a little bit. So for the high-sec miners, not such good news. Let's take a quick look at Noxium as well, still going down, breaking 610. So very likely bottom around 600 when all is said and done. But for now, not very good news. Your margins on high-sec mining are going down. Then when it comes to Zydrine, here you can see that it found its new price at around 1300, which of course is not bad for people that bought a few months ago. But yeah, this looks to be where the market has settled when it comes to Zydrine, and the same is true for Megasite, I think. Yep, as you can see, 5-day moving average crossing 20-day moving average, finding its price at around 2000 ISK. All the other changes to the mineral market, I think we can expect those to be much slower. Once the patch releases, people will need some time to adjust to the different situations, but it's not going to be the big rush anymore. I think all of this is finally going to start to slow down. So yeah, that's the mineral market. Of course, with the release of the dev block, we now know what's been happening. All of this is bound to slow down, but that means it's time to take a look if there is a noticeable impact on something like the Tech 1 chip market, I think. So let's head over there at around 710. And let's start here with the Apocalypse. Maybe I'll go for a bit of a longer chart here, 3-month chart for the Apocalypse. You can start to see here that there has been a slow uptrend. Apocalypse going from around 173 up to 180, and the latter part here does seem to be much more sustained than anything else. So slow creep up that's been going on for 3 months, and now I think the rebalance is only going to add to that. Here is the Caracal chart then. Well, much more difficult to gauge. Let's maybe go for like a 6-month chart. Okay, 10.5 million average price for the first like maybe 3 quarters of the chart, sure. Then a couple of big spikes for the Caracal. I think those are Gnostic alliances coming in to buy big fleets. The only thing is, let's see where the prices are at now. Well, still buyers 10.3, sellers 10.9, 10.5. On average, we're pretty close to that. So surprisingly enough, the Caracal is showing that it can still maintain its average from like 6 months ago. Pretty interesting. Here's the Dominic's chart then. Yeah, again, slow creep up. That's been going on for a little bit. Let's maybe compare the 3-month charts. That one is actually pretty stable at 195. So I would actually say Dominic's 195 average price. And are we still close to that? 190 to 210 though. So the sellers are keeping the price up quite a little bit higher. And I think this is the mineral impact that is going to start to show. The bigger the ship, the bigger the impact of the new mineral price changes, and also of course of the increased need for Zydrine and Megasite in the blueprint copies. And so we can expect some impact to start showing up on the bigger ships first, and then maybe a smaller impact that will slowly start to creep in on the smaller ships. Here's the Myrmidon. That one is like in between a battleship and a cruiser. It is a battle cruiser, of course. Yeah, putting the average at 51 for the entire chart I think is okay. Despite the big dip here, we've got a part just above that at 54 million. So on average 51 looks quite okay, but here at the tail end you can see we're starting to work our way towards 53 million. The buyers are still trying, but they're very close to that 51 million mark. The sellers a little bit higher than that, 52.7. And so I do think we'll start to see higher prices across the board. Here is the Stabber chart, where it was very stable, just below 10.5 million for a lot. Now we get quite a bit of quite a bit of spikes up that are to be seen here. It did tend to recover close to 10.5 again, and it is here again at the tail end. And so the cruisers seem to know this pattern, but be careful. I do think longer term we'll start to see these go up as well, just a little bit. Here is the tornado starting between 62 and 64, ending at 66. Very slow trend up here as well, but we are starting to see a new normal that's a little bit higher than the previous consensus price. And here's the Vexor. Very interesting that again the Vexor showing decent stability at probably 11 to 11.5 million, something right in between that. But now we're seeing again some spikes up here, and then the 20-day moving average is starting to be pulled up. So I actually think that there could be some speculative buying happening in Tech 1 markets. What would be affordable to buy in bulk, and where can you actually expect an impact medium and longer term? It would be cruisers, I think. So Vexor, Stabber and Caracal, look at all of these speculative spikes here at the tail end. It could be something that's happening, and yeah, we're seeing some action in the Tech 1 market. All of that due to the mineral rebalancing that CCP is going to launch in the next patch. So the minerals have had their day, and now the Tech 1 market, I do expect some movement in there. Interesting stuff. Next up, Tech 2, 1140. For that, let's see if we can find some investment opportunities. Basilisk is still a big no for me. I'd prefer to see it closer to like 175, maybe even 170 before I'd say, yeah, let's start to buy some of these. Here's the Golem. Oh my god, that one's going down pretty significantly, even going lower than the previous dip. That's interesting. Where are the sellers at? 1.116, buyers 1.071, and so the chart spike is at 1.114. Yep, kind of strange. I guess people are selling to the buy orders because of this spike. Is that a possibility? That the variation here is due to whether it's more buyers that get their ships or more sellers that manage to sell their ships? I think that's possible, and so this could actually not be a very good one to actively trade too often. The market is bound to be pretty small, and unless something significant happens to the marauders themselves, like a rebalance, I think these variations could just be due to a daily difference in trade, whether it's people that come in to buy a couple of golems and buy those trade off of the selling prices, or it's people that want to get rid of one and then they sell to a buy order. I think that's a possibility. I'll keep an eye on it for just a little bit longer, but if it continues to stay too limited, then yeah, I might just get rid of the marauders for the Tech 2 segment, because here I am looking for stuff that varies quite a bit all of a sudden and where you can actually make some trade money. The Guardian, that's interesting that it's finally coming off of a very low point, so I think you had a good opportunity to buy previously. Buy orders 121, sellers 130, starting to slowly go up. I think we had much better sell orders last week, so 130 is right here on the chart. We'll have to see, of course, what happens in the upcoming weeks, but I have a couple of Guardians in stock myself. Next up here is the Hound, still heading towards an all-time low, honestly. Buyers below 15 million, sellers still decent numbers and above 16 million, which is not that much. We've seen Hounds being sold for 22 and 21 million before as well, even close to 20 not that long ago. So for some reason, covered up ships, stealth bombers seem to be slowly trending down, reaching bottom prices. If you want to risk it, why not? This could be a decent investment. Here is the Manticore, also heading towards 21 million, which it's not done in quite a while. Here's then the Nemesis chart, also look at that, 17.5 million. Honestly, at some point an alliance is going to come in, just like with the Tech 3 market, and buy a couple of stealth bomber fleets here, and then this will go up. This is my expectation, and so if I would say have to say something that could be worthy of buying, it would be some stealth bombers. Honestly, this is not going to last, I don't think so. Let's check out the Oneros then. What is that chart looking like? yeah, pretty similar to the Guardian, also coming off of a very low point. So maybe some people came in and bought a few. In fact, the data point already back up there. Pretty interesting. Let's take a look at 140 for buyers, 156 for the sellers, 156. That's still right around here. So yeah, maybe the buying opportunity could be almost over for the Oneros. Here's the Paladin chart. Yeah, just too stable. I don't really like those Marauders in here, honestly. The Purifier reaching an all-time low, and then Scimitar very similar here, pretty much a bounce on a low for the last 6 months here. And current sellers are up to 126, which is right around here on the chart. So I think, yeah, buying opportunities could be closing pretty soon. It's interesting that all of those stealth bombers are seeing bottoms at the moment. I would look into that if you have money to spend. I'm going to do that myself, in fact. Next up, the Tech 3 markets. 16 minutes is what I'll take for that. And you probably already saw the Tengu make its move here. So we'll start with the Confessor, but we all know that there's just a lot of those being produced, and that one has found its price mark at around 40 million. Despite the rebalance here, I guess people said, okay, we're having a good time selling them for 40 million and a decent profit. The change to the needed materials doesn't seem to have a big impact on this, which is pretty interesting actually. I guess it's just that new that people were willing to pay a decent premium for Confessors, and so the producers, the manufacturers of that are saying at the moment, okay, increased needed materials is actually only going to impact our bottom line that much. We can continue to sell at the current prices. Here's the Legion chart then. That one, look at that, nice little spike up here, which I'm hoping the stealth bomber will do pretty soon as well. Buyers 143, sellers, oh, look at that, 180. That's up quite a bit for the Legion all of a sudden. You can also see that the sell orders have been completely gutted. So someone came in, bought a lot of Tech 3 ships all of a sudden. Here's the Loki charts. Well, that's not similar, so it's really the Legion made a pretty big move here. 136 for the buyers, 142 for the sellers of the Lokis, and that is still pretty much in line with the chart here, so no big move here. Here's the Proteus, up a little bit, but not anything close to the Legion. 155 for the sellers, 154 for the buyers. Did we touch a bottom? Yeah, we did but touch a bottom below 140, so there is a bit of a trend up. There are decent numbers coming in though, so I'm still saying that there is oversupply in the Tech 3 market, but at the moment I guess there is some binge buying going on here and there, causing spikes and an increase for the Tech 3 cruisers. That Legion spike up to 180 is actually not that insignificant. By next week we should have a pretty interesting chart here. And then finally we have the Tengu 137 to 152, so up a little bit as well from a bottom at 130. And this is something that I'm looking to see happen for the stealth bombers as well. It's just a personal opinion, of course, do with that what you want. But those very bottom prices there, I don't think are gonna last that long. And it's interesting to see the cruisers bounce back pretty significantly, but you can again see 28, 19, that oversupply, it is there as well. I think it will be short-lived. It's a personal opinion, of course, as I've said just before, but I think we'll start to go down pretty soon here. Someone has been buying Tech 3 ships. That's basically what I'm seeing here. Next up, I'll touch on isotopes, but we'll add this in the extra. It's just a bit of an announcement. Someone suggested this, so I made a folder for the isotopes. Here are the 6-month charts, but I don't feel like adding that to the minerals, which was a suggestion. It's already a really big topic, but I'll see what I do with this. Maybe I'll just try and make the isotopes, which a lot of people do tend to find pretty interesting, as like an extra material a little bit more often. But for this week, what we're going to check are the skin chips, and that's going to be 1920, because, well, the skins dev block had a pretty big impact on all of that. And so let's start with some battleships. Then we need to go for standard battleships, and let's take a look at Abaddon. Ghidorah edition. Yeah, the prices of the licenses are quite a bit more than the blueprint copies, where you could actually lose the ship. When the dev block hit the market and the contract, everything was just immediately bought out by people that got the announcement that if you have an Abandoned Cador edition, you'll get a single license that will stay indefinitely. So everyone tried to buy them. I was too late, I have to be honest. Though Dixie was empty, and then I was way too late in Jita. But this is that huge spike going from 250 million up to 500 million all of a sudden. And so all of this will be pretty much mirrored to the Aurum price that's going to be asked for the license itself. Here is the jump for the Tashmurkon edition, going from 250 to, yeah, a little bit less here, 350, something like that. No, almost 500 million for the sellers, though. Buyers still trying to get a couple of cheap ones, but that did happen last week, and you have to be very much on the money if you did not expect this. I didn't see it coming. I should have, I'll be honest. Skins for more Aurum is something we should have seen coming by making them permanent, and so if you had bought a few weeks ago, you could have made quite a bit of money. I bought single ships just to make sure that I had the license. Here's the Nugovi edition jump and then the Wirkomi edition jump. One thing I should also probably mention here is that Kaldari and Minmatar have fewer skins, but that's something that CSP is working on. Here's the Quave edition. Let's see, 1.8 billion is what these are going for. Not bad. For Dominic's Quave edition here. Hyperion Aliastra edition, that should be a really big spike as well. One of the most expensive skins, Aliastra edition ships, going from 250 million, and now we're looking at 850 million for Hyperion Aliastra edition. I have one. If I had made a couple of more, I would have made quite a bit more money, but okay, here is the Hyperion Inner Zone Shipping edition. This is why you need to keep a very close eye on the news here. Megatron Quave edition starting at what, 1 billion, and now you're selling them for 5 billion, 5 times the price all of a sudden. That's pretty significant. Here's some Minmatar ones. You can see that the jump is here as well, but smaller. I guess that is because they don't have that many skins. Here's the Nephantar edition, and honestly, they don't look that great. This is a personal opinion. Of course, everyone has their opinion on the skins, but the Minmatar and the Kaldari ones, they don't look that great. Especially, let's see which one that was, the green. This is the Wirkomi edition. I mean, just pretty bland green, militaristic. You've got a green military vibe already. I don't feel the need to buy that. And then let's take a look at the Nugovi edition. Yeah, brownish space camo. I'm not seeing that either. So CCP has some money to do, some work to do on the Kaldari skins and the Minmatar skins, in my opinion, but they already said that they are working on that. So let's hope for some really cool skins when it comes to that. They don't need to go overboard with colors, but it needs some work. Just a camo pattern on there, I'm not liking that much. Let's maybe also touch on a couple of frigates. Let's see if that is similar in impact. Yep, look at that, Punisher Cador edition, off the charts, basically off the charts here. Was way below 10 million before that, and now we are talking more than 100 million for a Punisher Cador edition. What is that, 10 times the price, 20 times the price? Probably close to that. Here's the Tashmurkon edition, also really big spike up to above 100 million for a frigate. That's not bad. Here are the Galente ones maybe. Incursus Aliastra edition, again very expensive one, going for 140 million all of a sudden. So the market has found its price already. Here is the Imikun. Oh my god, double spike, pretty cool here. Incursus Inner Zone Shipping edition, also close to 100 million now. So yeah, this is something that happened last week with the release of the dev blog, and next week we'll have the licenses. I actually look forward to seeing which licenses I personally get, because I've got stuff all over the place. I don't know. And maybe a final word on this also. I was not expecting it. I thought if you have an Incursus Inner Zone Shipping edition, for instance, that you would keep that, and that would be something that could be blown up. But no, CCP went for a full conversion. So all of these market categories, like let's say Caracal Nugovi edition, maybe quickly check out the chart here as well, and Caracal Wirkomi edition, all of these categories will be gone. All of those ships will be replaced by a normal caracal, and you will get a license in your redeemable items. So I thought they would maybe keep those and then start adding on top with the new skin system, but they are going to completely replace everything that you have. And so I think that that could be pretty interesting when you take a look at your redeemable items, what skins you'll have in there. Definitely something that that I'm planning to make a video about, because I feel that that could actually be pretty cool. What are the skins that you end up? I have no idea. I've got stuff all over the place, and as I've said, I may miss quite a few of them, but I think I've got a couple of really cool ones, and some that won't even be brought to the market anymore. So yeah, there you go, guys. Skin ships. Unfortunately, the opportunity has passed, and I was too late. I didn't see it coming either. Sorry, guys. I should have known. I should have allowed a lot of my viewers to make a lot of money on this, but I completely missed it. I'm hoping to do that now with the stealth bombers. That's my tip for this week. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you all next time.